The Pacific is entering a terrifying transformation. Forecast models now show a potential monster El Niño exploding between October 2026 and January 2027, one that could rank among the strongest ever recorded. Ocean temperatures are surging at an alarming pace, and if these projections verify, the atmosphere could spiral into a period of violent weather extremes across the United States and beyond. This is not a normal warming event. The Climate Prediction Center is tracking a rapidly intensifying pattern of abnormally hot sea surface temperatures spreading across the Pacific like wildfire. That heat acts as pure fuel for the atmosphere, supercharging storm systems, turbocharging rainfall, and destabilizing weather patterns on a massive scale. Meteorologists are increasingly concerned that this could become a historic climate setup capable of unleashing relentless severe weather through the end of 2026 and into early 2027. One of the biggest warning signs is the dramatic shift now developing in the jet stream. The subtropical jet, the southern branch responsible for feeding moisture-rich storms, is beginning to roar back to life. At the same time, the polar jet is weakening, allowing extreme heat and drought to expand across the northern United States, while explosive storm energy builds farther south. This dangerous atmospheric collision zone is expected to ignite repeated rounds of destructive weather. Mother's Day could become the opening act. A powerful disturbance charging in from the western U.S. is expected to collide with a cold front directly over Texas, triggering an outbreak of severe thunderstorms capable of producing giant hail, destructive winds, torrential rainfall, and isolated tornadoes. Forecasters have already upgraded parts of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex into an enhanced severe weather risk, including a hatched hail zone, the type of designation reserved for potentially destructive hailstones the size of golf balls or even tennis balls. Winds inside the strongest storms could exceed 70 miles per hour as supercells rapidly organize into a violent squall line racing south through Texas during the evening and overnight hours. Cities from Dallas to Austin and San Antonio could face intense nighttime storms capable of widespread damage. While the tornado threat remains relatively low, meteorologists warn it is not zero, and any storm that becomes isolated could quickly rotate. But the real danger may be the water. The atmosphere is becoming overloaded with tropical moisture, and repeated storm development could trigger dangerous flash flooding across Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and eventually much of the central and eastern United States. Some areas could see 4 to 8 inches of rain in a short period of time as storm systems repeatedly tap into Gulf moisture. Flood-prone regions already saturated from recent rainfall may quickly become overwhelmed. Meanwhile, the western United States is preparing for a completely different disaster. An intense dome of high pressure is expected to lock itself over the West, unleashing record-shattering heat across California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, and Texas. Temperatures in Death Valley could soar past 117 degrees Fahrenheit next week, while areas that recently discussed snowfall may suddenly face triple-digit heat. This expanding ridge could become one of the hottest May patterns observed in years. And this may only be the beginning. As we move deeper into late May and early June, meteorologists expect the western trough pattern to return, meaning all of that trapped heat and tropical moisture will collide. Dew points could surge into oppressive tropical levels. Atmospheric water vapor values may spike to extreme levels, and flash flooding threats could explode across Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, Missouri, and eventually the Midwest. Forecast guidance is already hinting at rainfall totals running 200 to 300% above normal in some regions as the strengthening El Niño pumps more energy into the subtropical jet stream. This could open the door to prolonged flooding events, repeated severe thunderstorm outbreaks, and a dangerously active early hurricane and monsoon season. Even the Pacific hurricane season may awaken earlier than normal. Abnormally warm waters off Central America and the Eastern Pacific are creating ideal conditions for tropical development. Meteorologists believe this could kickstart an early monsoon surge into the desert Southwest, spreading heavy rain into Arizona, New Mexico, West Texas, and the Four Corners region by late May into June. The atmosphere is loading the gun. Extreme heat, violent storms, massive hail, flash flooding, early tropical activity, and one of the strongest El Niño patterns in modern history potentially looming just months away. The second half of 2026 could become one of the most chaotic weather periods in years.